Well. Looks like the turntables. It's like a reverse Uno card that Edu has played. Most probably, I think he's opened up for the first time after the transfers as to since the transfer window is closed, Arsenal are getting into the media and, of course, the players. Every single one of them are trying to explain what they conducted in the transfer window. As an Arsenal fan myself, I think I'm finding it a really good as to know why did we pull off this kind of madness, paying, I mean, the most amount of spending the most amount in Europe, but still people believe that there are some sort of crevices in that squad that have not been filled at all. So most probably the midfield, expecting Elneny, Sambi. It's not bad, but you know what? When you expect every single piece to turn up together, that's not how you depend on. You got to have more quality options around it. But Thomas Partey's injury records after coming to Arsenal, Granit Xhaka taking red cards as if it's nothing, and of course not getting vaccinated. That's definitely going to trouble throughout the whole season. And the season's 35 games are still up for grabs. So with no European football, I don't know how exactly Arsenal are going on about with their midfield for the rest of the season. So let's talk about Takehiro Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu says, I feel that the team has changed and it is a new start. I am happy to join the Premier League stage that I was originally aiming for, and also to join Arsenal, a global big club. Tomiyasu said that he decided to transfer to Arsenal without even hesitation. He says, I have had more injuries in Italy and I've had muscular injuries in the last 2 years. I wasn't in good shape, and with that I could not do it at 100%, or I wasn't happy with the performance in the last few months at all. I hope that this transfer will lead to a positive direction, and I think we have to move it, citing the improvement of fitness as an issue in the new world. So also, Tomiyasu has thanked his Japanese coach for his move to Arsenal. His Japanese boss Hajime Moriyasu had a key role for his move to the Emirates Stadium. That's what Tomiyasu had to say. So he said, I wouldn't be able to transfer without the permission. I have to thank Moriyasu. So that is an unbelievable bit of a thing from Takehiro. But more importantly, talking about, in some instances, Arsenal have effectively gambled that the market will pick up sufficiently for them to capitalize in a year. They have chosen not to allow certain players to leave in the hope they may fetch more in the future windows, and they have provided them new contracts for that reasoning. Sambi, on his first cap for Belgium, says, I've been waiting for the moment for a long time, and now I'm enjoying it. I'm proud because I've done a lot of work to get here. I'm living a beautiful period of my career, but I must keep my feet on the ground. That's the way to go, bro. That's the way to actually go. Charlie Nicholas is officially arted out. He says, I think the fans already want him out. I think they will give him until Christmas, but I think the fans have made up their mind. Kolasinac, where has he come from? He was a ghost last season. He was out of the door. As much as I'm trying to support Mikel Arteta, I'm finding it incredibly difficult to give a proper and understandable reason as to why. So yeah, absolute torture. Well, torture as it may seem, but we have reached the moment of time wherein we're going to talk about Jeff Shreves having an interview with Edu. Jeff Shreves asked to Edu about what can you tell me about Arsenal's transfer window and the thinking behind it. He says, yes, I understand the reason because firstly they have not seen the team playing together yet. That's one of the reasons. But I think we have to see the wider context that just to see the money around it. We signed 6 players who are under 23, which means a lot in terms of our planning. Normally people like to see just one window, so I have to see it is the bigger picture because we started planning this squad a year ago in terms of consolidating the team and to try to get a better foundation. If you remember, in that period, we renewed Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli a year ago with the intention to get that kind of base in the team. In a 1-year period, we signed 10 players and 7 out of the 10 are under 23. We renewed 7 players in this period as well, just in the first team. 5 of the 7 are under 27s as well. Why did we do that? Because we have a reason to try again to create a good foundation, and then one day, maybe we are going to sign 1 or 2 players only, but after that, it's impossible to sign 1 or 2 players only because we have a lot to do. We have to balance the squad. We have to recruit the players with the right characteristics and the right profile to make the squad better, more solid and much more consistent, because the last season we suffered with consistency. Now I want to give Mikel Arteta and the board a much better squad. Jeff Shreves then asked him, it's clear there's a shift in Arsenal's policy in terms of buying young players. that have value in the future. Is that because previously the transfer dealings have been poor? He says, yes, if you see, we had 21 players exit over the year. All of those were terminated, or we tried to sell, or we tried to loan with an obligation to buy as well. We tried to clear a bit of the squad and bring in some new faces. We had 21 outgoings and signed 10 players in a year. So 21 changes, it's a lot. It's more than a squad in 1 year, but this as was the intention again when we are talking about the base and the foundation. We have to create it again to one day just go and sign 1 or 2 players. Jeff then asked him, the problem with that for many Arsenal fans is, let's say from the 6 new signings you've made, probably only 2 of them would go straight into the first team. So how much has this window improved Arsenal's first team right now? Edu says, you see the strategy for every single name. I can explain to you the reasons. Ramsdale, for example, is a very good football player and has the potential to be a big part of the team in the future. To which Jeff asked him, for the future? Edu says, for the future of the team, what he wants to do is to balance that position, and why do you bring him in? We already have one player that there to play games with Bern Leno, but we have to bring someone in to help for the future. Then at the right back, we just signed Tomiyasu. He's someone who can come here and play straight away because we loaned Hector to allow space for him to come and feature straight away. That's the plan, but of course, it's up to Mikel if he plays or not. Jeff says, so they are, if you like, are at the moment reserves. You can only really say Martin Odegaard and Ben White would be expected to be first team starters. So of the 6, only 2 will improve the team. Edu says, we suffered last year because we lost a lot of players and didn't really have good backups to play games. I believe we need a squad to win games. We need a squad to be in a good position at the end of the season because it is not only about the first 11. Again, we need a foundation, we need players to play, and then we need players to cover the first 11. Now let's put it into context. For example, in the midfield you have Xhaka and Partey. So for me and for Mikel, it doesn't make sense to sign another player to be on the top of them if they are the ones that are going to be playing. That's why we chose Albert Sambi Lokonga to help them. If you go up front, we have Lacazette, Aubameyang, Saka, Pepe, Martinelli. I want to see them playing together. In the number 10 position, we saw a gap there because we just have Emil. We needed a number 10 with the same quality to be there, help and play. And that's where the whole things happened. You can actually check out Sky Sports' big interview of Edu with Jeff Shreves and the talk exactly what he makes, and he's really opened up about literally everything that he had to. And there was this question like about the coach not getting time. Okay, Jeff Shreves asked him, but you don't get time in football. Edu says, I know, but that's why you make the decisions. We believe in our squad now, but we believe this squad can be even stronger in the future. My job is to think about the short term, but also the long term as well. How we are going to plan that kind of journey, because if we now sign 1 or 2 players and we have 3, 4 or 5 gaps to fill, people are then going to look at us and say, "Go guys, what are you doing? You've spent a lot of money on certain positions, but what about here, here and here?" The balance is not easy to get, but again, we believe in what we are doing. Talking about my role, I understand the pressure. I understand the pressure on me, Mikel, the board and the club, because the situation we are in now is not acceptable. So one thing is for sure, that Edu knows where we are and what we are suffering from, and probably he's not liking it, but he knows what he's pulled off and what it can take Arsenal, what can lead Arsenal into. Let's see where we go from here. So, lay equip. Arsene Wenger wants the World Cup to be played every 2 years. Lay equip say, really, Mr. Wenger? Trust me, lay equip. When Arsene Wenger speaks, he knows what he's speaking. Okay, just pipe down for once. Well, it looks like Arsenal will not receive Joe Willock's transfer fee of 25 million in one go, where they only said to receive his 25 million transfer fee in installments. Newcastle have now revealed, well, everyone thought that it's a direct money, but in a statement published on Newcastle's official website, the club announced the deal to bring Joe Willock to the club was formally completed on Friday 13th of August, and we are beyond delighted to have secured him. Our preference to pay transfer fees upfront rather than spreading payments over several years is well documented. We believe this approach to be in the club's long-term interest, giving the club far greater certainty and control over its spending in future windows and seasons. In negotiating or securing this deal, we acknowledge the need to make an exception, and on this occasion have spread the transfer fee over installments. We did so this summer to secure a player who we know makes us stronger and who our head coach was unequivocal in his desire to sign. So that's how Joe Willock, he's not even featured for them once this season. So Joe Willock might be the player that they would want to. They wanted to pay more for him. I mean, they wanted to pay and get him outright, but they're getting him in installments. Well, I don't mind with that. Cheers. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Go check out Sky Sports interview of Edu. Cheers. I'll see you in the next one.